I thought they weren't going to activate it, which they did. And obviously it stopped me from getting my world title shot. I had to vacate my EBU title. So I was frustrated in that sense. But then we signed the fight for April the 11th. So I was meant to fight Simpson on the Fury Makhmudov card.
Anyway,
pulled off that.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
He pulled off that with an injury. So like, if he's not going to be ready till June, what they're saying, let me fight in April, then I will fight him in June. That's not a problem. I don't see what their problem is. Stop me fighting in April as well. Like that, obviously, it's crazy. Boxing is full of snakes.
It's like, are you even on the card? So what's causing this problem? Is it your management company or is it your promoter?
Not my promoter. It's a promoter, but it's not my promoter. That stopped me from fighting on the card.
Good afternoon, good evening, good night, good morning, wherever you are. I'm Abs of October Red, and I'm happy to be joined with Troy Williamson, who's donning this perfect haircut for this Saturday afternoon. Welcome, Troy.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for getting me on. How are you doing? You okay?
All right, but I've been keeping a bit of an eye on you because you've been very active on the social media. I've been watching you for maybe hard, I'd say, for about a couple of weeks. Obviously, congratulations on the birth of your son. The family's expanding nice. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
But that's not the only place that's been really busy. It's been boxing. Now, this is what I wanted to talk to you about. You've come off a fantastic win against Callum Simpson on the boxer card. A really good win. I knew you was on a resurgence, but can we go back to that fight, Troy? Talk to me about that fight and how you got that win.
Well, I just got that win by turning up and doing what I can do. I kept on telling everyone that it was my natural weight class. I'm sick of saying that now, but now hopefully people start believing in me. I said it before that it was my natural weight class. People didn't believe me. People kept on doubting me, and I turned up and looked at the script once again.
How do you deal with that doubt? Because, I mean, I've been quite happy to see that you've moved up. Obviously, I've watched you for a while anyway. But where are you getting this feedback that, like, people are doubting you and not believing you? Where does that come from?
From people on social media who don't really know the ins and outs of boxing. Like, I was killing myself to make the weight at 154. I had a long time out the ring when I moved up to middle. I had 14 months out the ring, so I struggled to do that. And then my next fight was up against Dickinson at 168 super middleweight, and yeah, I just feel a completely different fighter, completely different person.
I think that's where you really did shock everybody, was the Mark Dickinson fight. I had a feeling that you might have got through that one, to be honest, because I know what you're capable of. The thing is with you, you've got a lot of experience. And sometimes I think that experience of yours goes under the radar because you weren't any good at the weights that you were fighting at. So I think that's when you came into yourself and people started to say, well, has this guy had a resurgence? He's literally just like the Undertaker, just got up from the dead and literally thought, you know what, I'm taking the bull by the horns. I'm taking this seriously. I know what my weight is, and I'm happy to campaign at that.
Yeah, of course. And I think that's where everyone was doubting me because, like I said, I was coming off 3 back-to-back losses. I understand people were saying I was finished. They thought I was done. I'm old, but I knew deep and down that there was still a lot left to give, and I knew that it was just down to the weight. I had never once come out publicly and said, I never blamed the weight for any of my losses, but people should know now that looking at the way I fight now and the way I was fighting at 154, I'm a completely different fighter. And yeah, this is my weight class, and I'm ready to take over. People can't doubt me now. Doubt me in the Dickinson fight. I was basically brought in for matchroom prospect to get beat, and I taught the script. And again, I think Simpson and his team were thinking, he didn't look too great in that fight just because we went to war in the middle of the ring. They must have thought they were going to be too big and they could bully me about and do whatever they wanted. But yeah, again, I went in there and talked the script. I knew what I was going to do. I said what I was going to do, and I backed it up.
You know, when you go into these fights, and I know it sounds like a really stupid, basic question, but are you preparing for the actual fighter, or because of your experience, you're able to like adapt while you're in the ring? Like you said, tore up the script, or did you sit down there with your team and look at that fighter? And, you know, even back to the Dickinson fight, how did you prepare for that? How were you confident that you were going to beat him?
I know what I'm capable of at this weight. I know what I can do. And yeah, obviously we had a game plan, but we knew Dickinson. I've known Dickinson for years. We shared hundreds of rounds sparring, so great fighter. And do you know what it is? I don't think I got the recognition of the win from Dickinson because of he's only had 9 or 10 fights. He was the only the English champion. So people didn't give me props on that win, but that win was just as big as the Simpson one. And I think Dickinson's a better fighter than Simpson, if I'm honest. Like, he hasn't got the accolades, don't get me wrong, but I think talent-wise and ability-wise, I think he's a better fighter.
Interesting. So going into the Simpson fight, then Simpson being, you know, a boxer favorite, I've seen you, you know, go to some boxer card events, etc. Getting in there with him, and then obviously how that fight turned out. Talk us through that, and what was the game plan for Simpson? Because Simpson's one of these guys. He can fight on the outside. He can box on the outside, but to me, his strengths are on the inside. He wants to get that pressure on you and sit on your chest, and then just come at you with that pressure. So, how did you notify that?
Yeah, we knew what he was going to do. We knew that he was going to do that. We got told he was going to try and box, which I think he did try and box for the first couple of rounds.
Yep.
And then obviously because he knew that he couldn't outbox me for 12, he obviously went back to his old ways, which was come forward, throwing lots of punches, and that's the worst thing you can do with me, because I like to stand there in the pocket and I like to fall back. And I think throwing with him shocked him. Like, he felt the power, and I think that's what really upset his plan. Like I say, everyone's got a game plan until you get punched in the mouth. And I think when I was thrown back with him and landing clean, then the game plan changed for him.
Similar to the Cheeseman fight, I think, with the kind of like the backwards and the forwards, and obviously you taking control of that fight. Similar, it was toe-to-toe action, but like you said, you take that risk when you're continuously throwing punches. You're going to be left open, and somebody with that timing that's got that experience of knowing how long it's going to take for their punch to get to you before they're open, you can catch them. That, to me, that's why sometimes you just cannot beat experience of fighters like yourself.
Yeah, of course. Like, experience played a big part in that fight as well. Like, for me, I don't think he's fought anybody on my level. I know we've been 2 weights difference. I've been at 154, he's been at 168, but I don't think that he's boxed the similar caliber of fighters that I've boxed, and I don't think. Yeah, so yeah, it went off there. I don't know where it went off. I think I was.
Yeah, you were talking about like the experience.
Yeah, I think the experience played a big part. Like, I don't think he's fought some of the caliber of fighters that I've fought,
Yeah.
and he's not had that acid test where he's been in there with someone who can take his punches and push him back and give him punishment. So I think that played a big part, and he was hating every minute of that fight. He was hating it. I could feel himself draining. I felt his body drain from round 7, I think it was, and after the end of round 9, you probably see me walk back to my corner, and I put my hand up. I knew I've got like, I was landing that reverse one too, all in round 9. I thought, I've got 3 rounds now to get you, and I will get you.
Yeah, it was a really brilliant fight to watch. There was some controversy of whether it should have been stopped earlier, but we don't need to get into that. What I want to do is get into what's happened or what's happening next with you, because I was delighted. I was happy to see that you was on, obviously, the card that's coming up, the Netflix card that's coming up, one of the undercard fighters on there with the likes of Fraser Clark, Jamie Takivi, Conor Benn, Richard Riakporhe. Everyone's on that card. And then I saw you on there, and I was like, oh, okay, he's back out. And then I saw some like mysterious tweet. And in fact, let me see if I can get it up actually. I won't put it on the screen. Right, yeah. Undercard announced, and there you are. And you're supposed to be, as far as we can see, fighting someone called, and I won't pronounce his, I think it's Simon Zakanuba. Zakanuba. And then you commented further up, I think you shared an interview by another boxing channel where the title was Eubank Jr. versus Kell Brook can happen on one condition. Manager Napper has welcomed a potential fight between Chris Eubank and Kell Brook. And then you tweeted like 19 hours ago, he said, when a fighter's contract comes to an end, they can either go left or right. Really? Is it that simple, yeah? Why am I finding it really difficult to go left or right? And that is what prompted my message to you. What the hell's going on?
You tell me. I know just as much as you. You know, like, I'm coming off 2 massive wins. I'm in the prime of my career. I feel unbelievably great. Like, this is my chance to reap the rewards of what from my full career. I've had a up and down career. I've never been backed properly. I've never been promoted properly, managed properly, and I'm just getting my chance to get this opportunity where I could change my family's life. And it's obviously I've been put on hold. It's frustrating, but all like you said, it's just delaying things. Like, I will become a world champion by the end of this year, and that will shock a lot of people who doubt me. But yeah, it's at the minute it's frustrating times. But all I've got to do is be patient, and my time will come. That's all I can say on it. I know just as much as you. I don't know when we're fighting. There's been dates thrown left, right, and centre. I'm just basically left in a lurch. Being put on the shelf for now, and I'm the champion. So I should be calling the shots, and I should be staying active. But right now, I'm just sat on the shelf waiting.
It's really weird because, like you said, you've had these up and downs during your career. I know because I've spoke to you. You know, I remember the first time we met was in London for a press conference when at that time you were managed by Sam Jones. That was the first time we got to speak to each other. I thought, yeah, I like this guy. You know, he's got something about him. And then you were sort of like in between stuff, didn't really know what's going on. And then you signed with obviously Nova Sports, with Napa, and obviously Chris Eubank Jr., you know, that side there, a matchroom fighter. And now it's like this halt again. So I don't know what questions you can answer, but I'm going to ask them anyway. And you can say yes or no, or I can't answer. That's entirely up to you. I'm sure that Eddie says you're still a matchroom fighter. So is that true? Are you still contracted with matchroom?
Yeah, they've got an option on me.
Okay. Yeah. Explain to a rookie. Explain to me, what is an option?
So from the matchroom fight, there was an option. So win, lose or draw, they had an option on me. They could bring me back to fight this guy, or if I won, they had 2 fights with me. So obviously I beat Dickinson, so they've got 2 fights with me. Yeah.
Right, we've had to switch platforms. I think I finally sussed it. Right, I'll go back to the bit where you said you have got options with Matchroom. So just to recap, options with Matchroom, you won the Dickinson fight, so they've give you 2 fights. You've had one, which is Callum Simpson, and obviously now you're waiting for another. The issue here is with the management. You believe that you're a free agent, and for some reason they believe that you're not. So where has that miscommunication started then, Troy?
The miscommunication started because obviously they know what position I'm in, and they know that I'm onto huge fights, so they want to obviously keep me on board. But there were just a few things that I wasn't happy with when we were working together, which don't need to go into things like that, no. And yeah, just boxing, like, I like to have loyal people around me and people who I can trust, and that's all I can say.
It's not.
So how do you think that is going to end up then? Because that could potentially, I mean, that could potentially block you from having other fights. Because is there an issue, or is there somewhere in this where you were potentially going to do a rematch with Callum Simpson, and this is where there's a bit of grey area or a bit of wrangle tangle with your contract. Is that what it is?
No, that obviously, like, we knew that there was a rematch clause in the first fight, so we knew that could happen. But personally, I didn't think they would activate it. I genuinely thought he was going to move up and get on with his career, because when I knock him out again, he's going to be coming off 2 knockout losses. Where's he going to go from there? Is he's going to be hindering, like, he's going to struggle. So I thought they weren't going to activate it, which they did. And obviously, it stopped me from getting my world title shot. I had to vacate my EBU title. So I was frustrated in that sense. But again, obviously, I got over it. I thought I'll just beat him again. I'll become world champion. Then we signed the fight for April 11th. So I was meant to fight Simpson on the Fury Makhmudov card.
Anyway,
he pulled off that.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
And he pulled off that with an injury. So because he pulled off, and it was nothing to do with me, we got a replacement opponent, which was Simon Zachanuba. And then from there, because they don't want me to get the opportunity, they don't want me to push on with my career, even though I would have fought him afterwards. That wasn't a problem. If he's not going to be ready till June, what they're saying, let me fight in April, then I will fight him in June. That's not a problem. I don't see what their problem is. Stop me fighting in April as well. Like that, obviously, it's crazy. Boxing is full of snakes and ladders. You're up and then you're down. You're up and then you're down.
So the problems only started to happen, because I'm just trying to work this out in my head, is when obviously Callum pulled out of this fight, and then you signed to fight the other chap that you were on the flyer for. And then all of a sudden the problems came with that. But where did the problems come from? Was it your management company or was it your promoter? Where did the problems come from? What's caused that stop?
What's caused what stuff?
Like, you were announced to be fighting this guy as a replacement for Callum. Now it's like, are you even on the card? So what's causing this problem? Is it your management company or is it your promoter?
Not my promoter. It's a promoter, but it's not my promoter. That stopped me from fighting on the card. Yeah, like I said, like they don't want to see me do good. They're like, I've got a family to provide for. Like, they stop me from earning a living. I've said that I will find something to fight him, and I will fight him next. That's not a problem. Like, I have no problems in giving him another ass beating. Like, let me fight in April, then I'll fight you. But because you're injured, that means I have to sit on the shelf and wait for him to be fit. Like, what if, worst case scenario, he breaks his neck and he can't fight till 2027? Well, I have to wait till 2027 to fight you. I need to make a living. I've got a family to provide for me as well. So let me fight, and then I'll fight you. But they won't do that. So, well, I think when it's all up in the air, it's announced, and which I think will be this week, then people will see exactly what's happened behind the scenes and what's gone on. And people
can I tell you what I think, Troy? Can I tell you, even though you don't have to agree with me, you don't even have to answer, what it's from obviously the bits and pieces that you put out there, it seems to be a problem that you're not fighting Callum Simpson, and that's where the block seems to have come from. And is that due to your manager, which you're saying you're potentially not with them anymore? It works very well or works very closely with Callum Simpson's promoter, and that is what is creating the problem. That's just me trying to put 2 and 2 together, and I could be wrong, but then you're the one that's taking the fall for this. I mean, I don't know.
You know what? Like, you have got a strong point there. What I can say is the contract for the first fight was very, very badly drafted up. I've had it looked into now. It was a massive opportunity for me, fighting him for the British Commonwealth and European Champions. I knew I was going to win that fight, so I took that chance. The only way that we'd get that fight, though, is for them putting a rematch clause in. If there was no rematch clause, they wouldn't take the fight. So they obviously weren't that confident in them in their guy, which is Callum.
Okay.
So I think the management team at the time have just looked after him, not me, which really should have the best interest I have for me, because
You're
the
their fighter.
rematch, yeah, I'm there for the rematch is all on his terms. It's when he wants it. It's back in Yorkshire. Like, it makes no sense. I'm the champion. Come to the northeast.
Or have it on a big event
Yeah,
like the one that's.
I on a big event. So it's just, you know what? It's frustrating it's frustrating at the minute. Very, very, very frustrating.
Yeah.
Like I'm active. I'm in the gym.
Yeah.
I can fight. I can fight tonight. Really, I'm 12 on fit. I could go tonight. We've been training hard, thinking that we're fighting second Huber, and
Yes.
yeah, we're not now. So it's just all I've got to do is just stay patient, and
Yeah.
like I said, my time will come, and I'll get a world title shot by the end of the year, and I'll become a world champion.
I spoke to the lovely Carl Frampton the other day. He was at the Matchroom press conference. I think I was in Nottingham, and it's the very first time I spoke to him, and he gave me some advice. Because where I was going was, obviously, you know, the situation with Jaya Pattaya with the IBF. He didn't know whether he was still fighting for the belt. Doesn't look like, and forgive me if I'm wrong, doesn't look like he knew the ins and outs of his own contract going to Zuffa Boxing. Yeah. It looks like he left it to his team to do it for him, and he paid the price. Now, leading on from that, Carl Frampton gave me this advice, or gave fighters this advice. When you sign a contract, get somebody independent, absolutely independent, to look at the contract, so your best interests are taken into consideration. Because you often find that sometimes, and I'm not saying that this is the case, but sometimes the manager's interest could be aligned with, say, a promoter that's a friend, or a promoter that they feel they can do deals with, rather than what happens to you. And that is very outspoken of me. And I'm not saying that, but I'm saying, judging from these continuous stories where fighters are constantly like left in the lurch, they don't know what they're doing, that seems to be what's happening.
Yeah, it does, and I think that's happened with me, if I'm honest.
So what do you do? What do you do to stop this happening? What do you do? Because it's not good for you to go through like different management companies. What are you going to do to like learn from this and make sure that you've got this really tight ship that's got your interests at heart?
Yeah, it's frustrating time that I'm in at the minute. Like really, I should be like looking forward to
Yes.
like we were like my coach was saying, like, we're on this massive card, should be in the gym buzzing, like absolutely over the moon, looking forward to
I
going
was
to
over
them.
the moon for you.
But at the same time, we didn't, like, we knew for a couple of weeks it was a bit shaky for a few weeks. So we didn't know whether it was going to go ahead or whether it wasn't. But yeah, I can confirm that I'm not on that card now. So.
Well, I am sorry to hear that. I suppose the saving grace is that you have got the rematch clause there, because that may be the saving grace once again. And I'm going to be positive and say, hopefully that opens a new door for you. Should things go your way, this is boxing. We know what it's like in the ring. Anything can happen. But should things go your way, it puts you back on the trajectory which you believe that you deserve to be on.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. I think just get rid of him again, and it's going to be a lot earlier than the first fight, and I'll get my world title shot.
Yeah, definitely. Everything that has happened to you over your career, Troy, I'm going to ask this. What advice are you going to tell other fighters to do? Because I know you've been through the mill a few times. So what advice would you give to other fighters so they don't make the same mistakes that you have? So you're giving them a little bit of a leg up to say, don't do this and do it that way.
Don't trust everyone. Don't trust everyone. Like I was led to believe when I signed the contract, that like everything that was proposed to me and offered to me, I thought, no, this is good. And then none of it come true. So yeah, don't trust anyone. Just be working hard and your opportunities will come, which I've done all my career. I've started off on small hall shows from the North East, nobody gave me a chance. Worked my way up to become a mandatory for the British champion British title in 2021.
Mm.
And then, yeah, batted me ups and I've had me downs, kept me close people around me, which I've still got around me now. But yeah, don't trust everyone is one of the main things.
Yeah. Listen, I'll keep my fingers crossed for you that everything does get better. I've spoken to you a few times. Like I said, you're one of the fighters that I do enjoy speaking to as well. And I've really enjoyed seeing you progress nicely through your career because I know you've been through some rubbish. So I'm going to keep them crossed for you, that things definitely start to pick up for you. Like you said, you've got a family to provide for. It's not just about Troy Williamson. It's about the legacy, the children that you've got, your wife, your family, and making a better life for them.
Yeah, definitely. Do you know what? Like, I'm a strong believer in like what I believe or what I think is going to happen. So I know I'm going to have a good year. It's just I've got to stay patient, and when the time comes, it comes. Yeah, first obviously get him out of the way first, and then really push on from there. I want to be busy.
Yes. Yeah. Listen, Troy, all the best. Ladies and gentlemen, please leave your comments and thoughts below on this conversation that I've had with Troy. Bit of a rocky start to 2026, but hopefully it gets better for him. Like, subscribe, do all of that good stuff. And Troy, I will catch you soon. Hopefully when something's announced, we will catch up again soon.
Definitely, anytime. Thank you very much.
Then. All right,
Cheers.
Take care. All the best to you and the fam.
Bye-bye.
All right,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.